Hi everybody, my name is Elias and I teach the POI for the Complete Beginner class. In that class we talk about the very basic essentials of POI. It's for people who have never picked up a set of POI before, also people who are trying to master the fundamental moves and concepts behind POI, so it's good for those people as well. We talk about the POI themselves physically. We talk about handles, different kinds of handles, different kinds of heads. We talk about body mechanics, finding the right length of the POI for each person's reach and posture and body. And then we talk about the basic concepts behind POI, things like planes. We talk about terms and catchphrases in the community, things like stalls, isolations, anti-spin, what all this means. And then we go over like the core essential moves, as I see them, that all POI moves are later derivations and permutations of. We talk about very basically the butterfly, the buzzsaw, the corkscrew, different kinds of weaves, the 3-beat weave. We talk about stalls and wraps and turning around and movement with the POI. And the real essential purpose of the course is to not necessarily have the students master anything, but to have enough of a knowledge base and a working toolbox that they can go off on their own and practice with a direction and practice with a focus and know what they're practicing about, and hopefully have a functional toolbox in that way. So that's POI for the Complete Beginner.
Hey Wildfire, it's Brendo. I taught POI for the Complete Beginner, or Intro to POI. I taught on Sunday, and I also taught with Libby, who you'll see a little bit after this. I took really the complete beginners, people who had never really picked up POI before, people that had been very brand new to it, maybe had only picked it up one time before. And the real message that I wanted to get across was kind of this motion. These motions of reels and spinning in front of you, spinning behind you relatively comfortably, being able to pass in between, so going from front to back, and kind of this little low reel motion. Low reels and high reels to me, reels in general to me, are one of the most important moves in POI, because all they are circles. And you can do them in front of you, so they are in wall plane if they're in front of you, or if you turn to the side, they're said to be in wheel plane. And like a weave is just tracing your POI around a reel. Really all it's doing is this, and it's moving back and forth between your right side and your right side, or left and right wheel plane. But so to get people really comfortable, a lot of people will start spinning in wheel plane. I think one of the better ways is to start spinning in wall plane, so that you really get comfortable with that plane, you really get comfortable with that motion, and you can eventually start to move behind your body. And the two ways to move behind your body are either to break your elbow. So if I'm spinning this way, if I'm spinning now, this is clockwise to me, I can break my elbow kind of at the point and move it behind me, almost kind of breaking my elbow and breaking my wrist in a top motion. And so that top motion will carry the POI behind me. Or I can do a scooping motion, which I think is a little bit more comfortable and it looks a little bit cleaner. And so that's this motion. Spinning, 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 and then scooping behind you. And so those are really the two. So again, once you have that basic idea down, you have the scooping behind you and you have the breaking of the elbow or breaking of the wrist over the top. You then have 4 points kind of at your body where you can move them. And so there's top right, bottom left, top left, and you can really put your reels wherever you want. So I can have my right hand poi spinning at my low, at my hip, high at my shoulder, over here over my left shoulder, or by my left shoulder, down by my left hip, and I can put them in all of those places behind me. So I can be over here, could be spinning top left, I'm all of a sudden spinning back top left, down, or back, down, right. I'm sorry, this is top, right. Can put it over here, can put it behind me, and all like that. And once you really get comfortable with those moves, with reels in front of you and behind you, then all of your other moves open up. A buzzsaw. A buzzsaw is simply side reels, inverted, so now you're in spinning, and now it's just split time. Or it's this, split time. Same with butterfly. A butterfly is opposite direction, same time reels. And so you have reels, you have timing, direction, and plane. And timing, direction, and plane all dictate a poi move. So you can basically break down every poi move into a timing, a direction, and a plane. And once you figure out those reels, you can then put those reels anywhere you want, in any plane, in any timing with the other poi, etc. And you can create your own moves. You can come up with all of your moves, all of the basic moves. Again, basic moves that you probably see as the rundown. Some of the four basics and the four core moves that I subscribe to are butterfly, which is simply this, so opposite direction, same time, wall plane. The weave, which is just, it's a chase, it's a weave. I think everyone's seen it, and I can, there's plenty of lessons on how to do this. And then the buzzsaw, which is another good one. Again, this is now same direction, split time in wall plane, in wheel plane, if you will. And then the other one that I really like, and kind of the two beat, just turned on its axis, in floor and ceiling plane, is the corkscrew, which you can then bring up to the window. And those are the basic four moves. Those are the basic moves, and they all connect somehow, using reels, using turning, which is a little bit more advanced, but can be learned. You'll be able to figure out poi, and that's kind of the introduction to poi that I tried to get across. And now here's Libby's introduction.
Hi, I'm Libby, and this is the summary for the beginner poi class. I taught this with Brendo, and I took the slightly more advanced portion of the class. So we went over timing, direction, and planes. So timing is the relative timing of the poi. So if they're going down at the same time, and if they're going one after the other, that's split time. We also talked about direction, which is if you swing the poi into your head, it goes forward, that's forwards. If you're swinging and it goes into your head and you go back, that's reverse. That's forwards and reverse. We also went over relative direction, so the two poi are spinning either in the same direction or in opposite directions. And that applies in both this wheel plane and in the wall plane when I bring it over. So opposite and same. And we covered the idea that when you turn, the direction of your poi changes relative to you. So if I'm spinning forwards and I turn, now they're spinning in reverse. So we went over a few variants on the butterfly, including putting it behind your head and doing it split time, adding various extensions, so full extension, and one hand after the other. We also went over turning with the butterfly, so taking one poi, bringing it to the other side, and then bringing the other over to follow it. And back, and back. And you can do that in all directions. We then went on to hip reels, where you have, starting from the reverse butterfly, you bring one poi behind you and alternate this way. And as we said, there are about 16 or 32 versions of hip reels, because you can have same direction, so same direction, opposite direction, split time, same time. And there's a lot of different variants to work on. We talked about turning with those and bringing them up to your shoulders. And then I think the last thing we went over is basic stalls, so that you can transition between same direction moves and opposite direction moves. The concept of a stall is that you want to find the point where the poi is heading in the direction you want to stall in this case down. So I want to move my hand to this point when the poi gets there. So 1, 2, 3, down. Same concept applies for going upwards. So now the poi is swinging up, and it goes up. You can also stall out to the side in a pendulum, like that. And that's what we covered in the intro poi class. Thanks.